Escalade Cadillac, gangsta black walls, a TV Nintendo in the back. Oh, y'all, you may not have a car at all, but remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got. Just be thankful. Be thankful for what you got. For what you got.
I gotta thank God for everything that I got. That's the show for what I got. I wouldn't have now, so let me get on my knees. Thank you, Lord, I can breathe.
Thank you, Lord, for the trees and blessing me with my cheese,
so I can take care of my family like you want me to do, and do all the good deeds you want me to do. I don't have to sling it, no, my mama ain't stressing. All I do is write raps and rest. On Sundays I'm dressing, well, I'm on to break for a sweeter day. I wanna be like the floaters and just float away. Gotta find a way to make a better day. What we all better do is we all better pray. But then I'm tired of going spreading rumors that I'm preaching, but all I'm trying to do is basically trying to reach him. Y'all want to impeach Bill for cheating on his wife.
You ought to spend the 50 million saving somebody like me. Just be thankful for what you got. Just be thankful. Be thankful for what you got. You gotta thank him for what you got right now, y'all.
Dedicated to my God on my CD. Thank you for everything you ever done for me. Thank you for the prayers that you answered for my mama. Thank you for the good time. Thank you for the drama. Thank you for the times you fed me when I was broke. Thank you for watching over me when I had to sling my dough. Thank you for being the understanding God that you are. For without your blessing, God, ain't nobody going for. I wanna thank you for when I was down, but not out. I knew the was in the sand, wasn't no doubt. And now for your prayer haters who counting me out. Look at me now, baby, like her. I wanna shout. I'm blessed with my home and blessed with plenty ends to spend. Bigger Escalade truck, coupe, big 12 bands. Call me up, homie. I got the ends to spend. God bless me to be the only real ass. I'm thankful. What?
You got now. Yeah. What you got? You gotta be thankful. Thank you. Look at what you got. Look at what you got. Be thankful. You got shoes on your feet right now. For what you got. You got shoes on your feet right now. Yes, you have. Just be thankful. You got clothes on your back. Yes, you do. Oh, yeah. Just be thankful. God let you breathe his air, and you ought to thank him. Hold up, yeah. Just be thankful. Take our time and think about it. For what you got. He gave you some food to eat. He gave you shelter. He's shelter in a stormy rain. Yes, he is. Yeah. Just be thankful. Thank you for what you got. For what you got, y'all. Don't worry about it. Just be thankful for what you got.
All right. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I tell you, I cannot help it in my soul. Yes, it is. It's in my soul, and I thank God for that for that song and for that video. I put that video together in I think it was 2016, and it's
Mm.
time for me to update it now because we
Yep.
have more family members. As a matter of
Yes,
fact,
we
we have one born
do.
this morning.
Yes, we
Lucy's
did.
grandbaby, Lucy's grandbaby, Ashland's baby. So it's what Harper Polk baby
Yeah.
in Denison.
Yep. And Denison.
Yes, right. Yes, yes. So we are so thankful. And then our Johnson Polk baby was born last month. She just turned 1 month old.
Yep.
Yes. And so we are so thankful. Just be thankful for what you got. This is Point of View with Shirley, Cleester, Eula, and Merethah. So you have Merethah and me here today. And we are just so thankful for being here. I'm so proud and thankful for my baby sister. Clee had a doctor's appointment just for a checkup. She's feeling much better from that cold she had. So, but she had to go for her regular checkup today. So, if she gets back in time, she will join us. So, Marita, what are you talking about today?
My topic is 10 reasons why you shouldn't settle for less.
Okay, 10 reasons why you shouldn't settle for less. Okay, and mine is, can someone die of a broken heart? Can someone die of a broken heart? So I have two sites that I was on, and I did have the AARP site that I had the information that I had studied. So, Maritha, while you're doing yours and taking your time, I'm going to turn you into the capable hands and of my baby sister. After we pray, dear God, as we sit before you to speak, we pray to you that our souls you will keep. And if we should die before we finish, we pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. And it's such a privilege and a blessing. Thank you, God. I turn you to my baby sister,
Hello. All
Maritha.
right. So my topic again, like I said before, 10 reasons why you should never settle for less. And this comes from minimalistmadesimple.com. And it's personal growth, and y'all know I'm always talking about never settling and always doing the right thing for yourself, and how you're supposed to treat yourself and be right for yourself. So pardon me, you want to make the most of your life, don't you? You have big dreams and goals. You know what it is that you want from this life, this world, and do what you how to do. How do you get there? But excuse me, how do you get there? You can't be afraid to ask for more. Don't settle for less when life has so much potential. In this blog post, this is what they write, are going to be discussing 10 reasons why you should never settle for less in your life. All right. Number one, settling for less means you're settling for a life with more limitations. When you choose to settle for less than what you truly deserve, you're setting yourself up with life filled with self imposed limitations. By doing so, you are limiting yourself and restricting your own potential, be it because of fear of failure, rejection, or whatever else may be standing in your way. But guess what? You can't succeed or grow when you're stuck in your comfort zone. That is so true. Sometimes we get complacent and we get stuck in our jobs and where we live because maybe the rent's low, or maybe something, but you're not happy there. You gotta step out on faith. If you pray about it, be about it. You know, God's not gonna leave you out there stuck somewhere. He'll upgrade you. He'll upgrade you. All you gotta do is ask. When settling, number two, settling is a form of giving up on your dreams and goals. When you settle for less, it is a form of giving up. You're saying to yourself and the world that your goals are not worth fighting for. But why? Why would you choose to give up when there's so much more out there waiting for you? Keep going. Never stop pushing forward. There are so many people out there who settle in their career. I just said that. And
Mm-hmm.
relationship thinking is the closest they'll ever get to happiness or success. But what if it isn't? What if there was just one stepping stone in your bigger journey of life? Journey of life. Number three, settling for less means you're settling on something that isn't the best it could be. In life, we all have moments where we must choose or settle or not to settle. To choose something that might work for us at the present moment versus pursuing better options or wanting what's truly best for us to come along means you're settling. When you're settling in your relationships, friendships, career paths, whatever it may be, you are choosing second best over the top tier every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And life is too short to spend it doing something or being with someone that you don't absolutely love. Life is too short to be unhappy. Okay? Life is too short. I'm going to say this again. This is what they said. And life is too short to spend it doing something or being with someone that you don't absolutely love. We are not promised this next second. We are not promised this next minute. All right. Number 4, settling for less. It's like trying to make do with something mediocre instead of going after what's best. You'll never be happy or satisfied because something deep down inside of you knows that there are better options out there. But why settle when they exist? Why not keep looking until you find what works best for your life, you and your life? In the end, you'll be glad that you waited for the best instead of trying to make do with what's just okay. Have you ever went to a store and you saw something that you liked? A purse. I'm a purse person. Okay, I'm a purse person. And you saw this purse and it was, say, $125, okay? And you thought, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Because, you get that impulse buy. It really, when we go buy something, it's really an impulse buy, okay? I'm going to wait because I know I can get this at a better deal. I know I can. And then you turn around, maybe you go online, maybe you go on Amazon, and that same purse, the same exact purse is $50. Okay, 125 versus 50. And it's going to get to you the next day. The same one. The same quality, same maker, everything. And it's a better deal. And you're happy because you didn't step out there with the first thing that crossed your path. That's what they're saying. You don't always have to jump at the first thing that comes along. All right. So that's just my, y'all know how I am. Number 5, choosing to stay stuck in an unhappy marriage instead of ending it and finding happiness elsewhere is settling for less. It's all too common for people to stay in a relationship that are no longer working, long after the love and respect is gone. There are many reasons people choose to do this. It could be because they want to maintain a family unit for the children's sake. It could be the comfort of knowing what to expect each day, even if it's bad, or fear of the unknown, or what the future will look like after the relationship has ended. Choose to move on instead so you can both find happiness you deserve. Okay? I'm doing it for the kids. I'm staying there for the... Why would you stay there and make the children miserable? They are not stupid. Those kids are not stupid. They know y'all are not talking. I don't have any children, so I'm just saying, from looking on the outside, looking in, you can look at people and tell when they're happy and when they're not. You know, you go, ooh, ain't right there. And we've all done it. We've all looked at people and thought something's not right. So if we can see it, those children can see it. And they're living that house every day. So, be careful. Number 6, you deserve more than just less. You deserve the best. I deserve the best. All right? You are worthy of the best life has to offer. You deserve and to live a life of your dream. Settle for less. If something isn't working out or making a positive impact on your life, don't be afraid to let it go and move on. Holding on to toxic habits and people will only hold you back. You deserve nothing less than the best. I was looking at one of those award shows, and Tyler Perry summed it up by using a rocket as an example. He's like, when a rocket is sent up into space, some people are like the boosters on the rocket. Some people are not meant to go up as high as you go. When those boosters in the rocket go up in space, they fall off. When they get to a certain height, the boosters fall off. Well, that rocket just keeps going, okay? That's what their job is. They're to get you up so high, and then they fall off. It's not that it's not meant to go where you're going. So it's okay. That's okay, because you're meant to keep going. It's not that you don't love them. It's not that it's just that they're not meant to go where you're going. So you have to let that fall off. You have to let that go and be okay with that. Sometimes we hold on to things that God is trying to make us let go of, and we're the ones that's holding on to it, okay, so tightly. So that's how we miss our blessings sometimes, holding on to things that he wants us to let go of. And we can't move on from what we're doing because we're holding on to it so tight. Loosen up them fingers. Open up them palms, because that blessing, it'll fill up with something else. We stop this and just open this and let it fill up. All right. Number 7, settling for less means you're striving to be the best version of yourself. When you settle for less, you're not reaching your maximum potential. You're settling on being mediocre and average instead of aiming to become the best possible version of yourself. So why should you do this? Why not work towards becoming the best possible you? When you end up in a job with no growth potential or with a partner that doesn't support your dreams, you're setting yourself up to stay stuck. Number 8, settling for less will lead to regret in the future. You can never go back and change the past, but you can take steps to avoid repeating it. If there's something in your life that's making you unhappy or holding you back, don't settle. Take action now and make a positive change before regret sets in or damage just what you could have been for an unforgettable future. We all have regrets about things that we didn't do. I should have done this, or I should have walked through that door instead of walking through this. And we all have those regrets. I'm 58 years old. Yes, there are things that I wish I would have done, in my past, but I didn't. But I can still go on forward and do something else to change what I didn't do. But I can do something else to make what I want happen. So we can all do that. All right. Number 9, people who settle for less are usually unhappy with themselves and their lives. People who settle for less sometimes lack the sense of self-worth and self-confidence to believe they deserve good things in life. This stops them from pushing themselves toward reaching their full potential and results in feelings of inadequacy. Strive to work on your self-esteem so that you can better yourself and your circumstances. All right. And number 10, it's never too late to start over and get what you want in life. There is no time like the present. Life presents us with many opportunities to make changes and improvements. If you've been feeling unhappy or stuck in a rut lately, it's never too late to start fresh and pursue your goals instead of settling for less than what makes you happy. Every single moment we have on this earth is a gift, and we should feel blessed for the opportunities that life brings. So, what are you waiting for? Final thoughts. If you read this far, I hope it's clear why settling for less is not an option. Don't settle for the status quo. Don't settle for a job you're unhappy with or a partner that doesn't make your heart sing. You deserve to be happy and fulfilled in life. So never accept anything less than what you are worth. And you are worth it. So, and remember, if you're not happy with the way life is going, then it's time to take action and make changes necessary so you can live out your true potential.
Right.
That's
Wonderful.
it.
Wonderful. Very, very, very good. Very interesting. Very interesting. Living out your potential. Living out your potential.
Yeah, never
And
say
those were 10 reasons why
10
we should
reasons.
never settle for less. Right? Did I spell less right? Yeah, I
Yes,
spelled it
ma'am.
right.
Yes, ma'am, you did.
10 reasons. Thank you, baby, Marita.
You're welcome. I'm still your baby sister.
In Dallas, they started calling her baby sister when she came down for the tea. And I want to say I'm going to plan a tea. We had it. It's been about 3 years ago or
Yeah,
4 years ago. I had that fundraising tea, and also there's another fundraiser that's coming up also. So I will be telling everybody about that. So that was wonderful. That was wonderful. I really enjoyed that, and so much information. And so we cover so many subjects here, and everybody that's been watching us from the beginning when I brought in Eula and Merethah and Cleester, they heard so many different topics. And like I said, every time we hear them, even if we've talked about the same thing, it's always something that's added to it that enhances it. And so we've covered so much here. We have covered so much, and I am so thankful to God. And what we do, we search out the facts and we try to inform, do it factually, okay?
yeah.
And speaking of that, I want to straighten this up. I was talking about when I asked Alexa who the executive was, Apple executive that died a few years ago, and she said to me that it was Steve Jobs and he died 3 years ago today, which was January 30th. And so I was all excited about that and everything. But then when I mentioned it, and I called, like I told you, I called, I said, oh, and this is, and I had no idea that it was 3 years to the day. Well, that information is different.
Mm.
And so I mentioned it to Nicholas, and he said, I think he died more years back than that. And he said, ask her just like you asked her when you asked her. I did. He died in 2014.
And she said 3 years.
Yes, that's what she told me. But that's okay. Hey,
Yeah,
that's technical stuff. They can make mistakes too.
yeah,
But
they can.
anyway, and then he said he died. I think it was it August or October. Anyway, it was like in 2014. So I want to straighten that out because I don't have any problem with coming back and
No.
straightening something out. None
Hmm.
whatsoever. Because we want to give the truth. Okay. Thank you for being with us. I saw Miss Barbara Ann Snell and someone else is on with us. Thank you so much for being with us on this winter day. I mean, it is cold here. I think it's like 31 degrees here. It might have gone up, but not too much. And we are on the melt here, but we know that it's going to freeze over tonight again. But I am staying inside. I am staying inside. Thankful, thankful, thankful. So, and that song, I want to say this: the song that you heard in the beginning, "Thankful," that's a Pope Family's video. I'm going to have to upgrade the video, like I said, because we have more family members now. And but that song is by Michael McCowan. Michael McCowan. So I want to give him credit for that. Even though you saw it in the credits, I want to give you credit for that. Very seldom do I use anybody else's music, but that is one of my favorite uh, songs by him because he brought it over to the spiritual side. But then I always listen to the other one too. So they're
Yeah.
both good because they're both spiritual.
Yeah.
They're both spiritual songs. So anyway, I wanted to say that and give Michael uh, props for that, for bringing that. So now I'm going to go to my topics. Can you really die from a broken heart? I have healthline dot I think it's .com, and then I have WebMD. I'm going to go to WebMD, broken heart syndrome risk factor, and the question is, let me get back up here. Is broken heart syndrome, and my question is, can anybody? And I did this years ago on Point of View with Shirley Polk. I did this years ago. I haven't found that article that I read that really broke it down. But here is this from WebMD, um, because people, you can really, 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 and I think about Mama, and Daddy died in July of 1991. Mama died in June of 1992, less than a year after Daddy left. So, can you die of a broken heart? I'm not saying she died of a heart, but she missed Daddy, really, really missed Daddy. Okay, and then she did die of heart complications. So, broken heart syndrome is a condition with symptoms that may feel like a heart attack, like chest pain and shortness of breath, but it's caused by going through an emotionally stressful event, not by clogged arteries. It's triggered by very stressful situations like the death of someone you love. Broken heart syndrome causes it's it's the thought that when you have broken heart syndrome, your body releases stress hormones that temporarily curb your heart's ability to pump as well as it should, and a part of your heart
Hmm.
called the left, let me get because it's not coming like I want, left ventricle, let me try to get this, temporarily weakens and stops pumping well. Experts also believe that your coronary arteries, which feed oxygen to your heart muscles, spasm. They spasm. This can cause chest pain, the momentary freezing or stunning of your heart can bring circulation problems. Okay, let me. This is not doing like I want it to because there's something blocking it, and I don't like this. I'm gonna have to go to my other one. But anyway, let me go. Let me finish this. Broken heart syndrome symptoms. Now let me go to my other one where I can read this like I want to read it. Healthline.com. That was WebMD. Can you really die of a broken heart? This is by Kathy Caseta. I believe that's the way you pronounce it. Cassata. And Kathy, if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, forgive me because I always try to pronounce people's names correctly. She updated this on April the 8th, 2016. The loss of a spouse takes a heavy toll on older adults. Scientists say there are medical as well as other reasons they develop broken heart syndrome. It sometimes happens that a person dies shortly after the death of their spouse. This phenomenon is often referred to as broken heart syndrome, the widowhood effect, or more technically, Takotsubo, which is cardiomyopathy. Okay, it might be Takotsubo, but anyway, Takotsubo, cardiomyopathy. So there is a technical term for it. Broken heart syndrome is a social condition that shows if your wife or husband dies, your mortality goes up and stays elevated for years. So you can almost catch death from your spouse. Isn't that something? It's not a coincidence, it's an effect. Felix Elwert, PhD, Associate Professor of Sociology at the University of Wisconsin Madison, told Healthline. Elwert says that broken heart syndrome is one of the oldest known findings in social demography. There has been about 150 years of research on this condition. However, this phenomenon is still somewhat of a mystery. Elward's 13 years of research on the topic helps point to some answers and tells us we can read more. So let me get on down here. More than a romantic sting. It's more than a romantic sting because people say, my heart is broken. My heart, yes, their heart is broken. They are, oh my goodness. There may be a romantic notion of one not being able to live without the love of a spouse. But Elworth says there's more to the story. And I remember when Mom and I were sitting on the back porch at the house, at her house, we were sitting on the back porch, back steps. And so she confided in me about something after Daddy had left and how she felt about it. And I don't think I've ever said that to anybody, but she did because her heart was broken.
Hmm.
So his research points to practical reasons that are gender specific. People do stuff for each other than love each other. Of course, many couples do maintain a kind of butterflies in the belly love, but later in life the relationship becomes much more of a companionship because mama and daddy had a companion. I mean, I looked at them like it was like being brother and sister.
Yeah. But he called her mama and she called him daddy because that's all they ever heard.
Companionship, yes, just like they were brother and sister to each other. And then even a couple around here, like I talk about Pastor Deborah Alexander and Deacon Charles Alexander, how I when they interact with each other when I was around, I just told them I just love it. I love it because they were so happy and they were companions and they were just like they were brothers and sisters. She said, "Oh boy," and stuff
Yeah.
like. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Oh yes. So even if they're not writing each other's secret letters under the desk anymore, the death of a spouse in general can harm one's health because they're losing material surfaces, he said. That's what Elwood said. So, for example, for people over 75 years old, Elwood says most men struggle with cooking and cleaning. In that generation, by and large, those were the wife's roles. So if I'm an older male and I'm a type 2 diabetic, even a few weeks of irregular and poor meals or or perhaps self-medication of chocolate might push me over the edge, he said. On the average, women tend to be 2 to 3 years younger than their husbands and often stay mentally fit a little longer. So Elwood says they are often in charge of reminding their husbands when to take their medication, making their husbands' doctor's appointments, and coordinating their social activities. And I know that's a fact. So if the wife dies, the nurse dies and the social secretary dies. Even if the couple has fallen out of love and nobody's heart is broken, all of these things we know are harmful to survival are affected. We need to eat regularly, take medication regularly, and to have social contact regularly so we don't shrivel inside, Elwood said. When older women lose their husbands, Elwood says they're affected in different ways, primarily financially. And that's true too, in so many cases. So many cases. I started watching this show. Uh, I can't think of the name of it now, but it's a series. And so the husband died and the mother took the girl. The girl was gifted. So the mother took the girl to this organization and hired her out, and she was young. And the
Mm.
girl said she didn't want to do it. And when they got out, and so they asked, "Where do you want the money sent to?" And the mother said, "To me." I mean, she just put the girl in this place. She was going to stay with these people because of her gift and be trained
Mm-hmm.
and everything. But of course, the money was going to go directly to the mother. So
Mm-hmm.
when the little girl and her mother came out of the place, she said, "Mother, I don't want to do this." And mother said, "You're going to do it. Your dad left us because of his drinking, and he left us, and you're going to do it. You're going to make the money like that." She was so mean and hateful
Mm.
to that girl, but she took her so she would have to make the money. So going with this, like it says, it Elwer says they're affected in different ways, primarily financially. And so, like this mother, she was saying to that girl, "You're going to be making the money now.
Mm-hmm.
Drank himself to death, but you're going to be the one to make the money." So, Social security benefits are tied to how people survive, and husbands in the elderly population tend to be the primary wage earners. Widows receive a widow's pension, which is quite a bit lower, so she may have to move because living alone is more expensive than living together, and this can be stressful, Elwer said. A case of race. Researchers have a database of 500,000 Americans and tens of thousands of African Americans. But Elwood says they didn't find instances of broken heart syndrome among African Americans.
Huh.
We estimated, well, that's a change, huh?
Huh.
We estimated really precisely that this effect is essentially zero. This means that marriage does not prolong the life of African Americans as it does for whites. This doesn't mean that African Americans don't benefit from marriage, it means that they benefit longer. For whites, the marital benefits disappear when the marriage ends, and for African Americans, the marital health benefits last beyond the death of a spouse, Elwood stated. Because we know how to survive. We are resilient.
Huh.
We know how to survive by the grace of God.
Huh.
God's grace. Okay, while there's no scientific evidence to prove why this is the case, Elworth says one theory is that the cultural context of marriage differs between groups. One thing that we know for a fact is that elderly widowed whites tend to live alone, but elderly widowed African Americans live with other relatives. And not always now, but
Uh-uh.
many times we do. And so, that could be debatable also for the uh, Caucasian people too.
Uh-huh.
So, sure, I believe there's a psychological broken heart component, but most of the theories I've told are really about having a caretaker in the home, somebody to whom I'm not just furniture, but who has sympathy for me. That could be another relative, a child, a younger sibling, whoever, he said. Another theory is that current generation in the current generation of elderly African Americans have more equitable marriages and practice a weaker division of labor than whites do. Think of 80-year-old whites now. It's clear the husband's job was to work, and the wife's was the homemaker. For African Americans, that's less true. African American elderly husbands are more likely to contribute to household labor than whites, and African American elderly wives were more likely to participate in the labor force than whites, which means they're less dependent on each other, Elwood says. Now, Mama didn't have to work.
Hmm.
If she wanted to go and do something to earn some money for herself, Daddy would say, okay, they would agree on it. And she would work for a little while.
Didn't she
She
work for 2 days?
had to have budget. Now she worked sometimes, she would work long enough to,
Oh.
help the people. But when she got ready to, it was over. It was
Well,
over.
I know. I remember the snack shack. She wanted her barbecue shack, and he went and bought her one. So
Well, that was her own business. Yeah, but I'm talking
yeah,
about working out. Yeah, that was her
yeah.
business.
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't
Then when
around
she got
then.
ready to close it down, then someone wanted to buy it, and
Yep,
they offered enough. Hey, and
yep,
so she sold it. She
yep.
sold it. So physiological connection. While the social components of broken heart syndrome refer to the long-lasting effects of losing a spouse, the American Heart Association, don't act up on me, computer, defines the medical condition as a sudden intense chest pain, the reaction to a surge. This thing is flashing. The reaction to a surge of stress hormones that can be, oh, don't act up on me. Now it's not scrolling. It's not scrolling. Wait a minute. Something is popping up here. If I can catch it at the right time, I can close it out. Oh my goodness. What is this? Let me try to close that. Okay, now got it. Now, I want to do this again. The American Heart Association, AHA, that's acronym, defines the medical condition as a sudden, intense chest pain, the reaction to a surge of stress hormones that can be caused by an emotionally stressful event without with established ties between depression, mental health, and heart disease. So it's not letting me go any further than that, but I think that's good enough. If we don't have to stay on here a long time. But I wanted to talk about that because we can definitely die of a broken heart. And I was reading in, I think was in the AARP um, uh, one article that I read. It was talking about the Bushes, George Bush, the senior, and
Mm-hmm.
his wife was Barbara, right? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Barbara Bush. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's mother's name. Yes, and how when she left here, then a few months later he went too. And so one of the Bush twins said that their daughter put it in, where it was like made sense to them.
Mm-hmm.
The child, the great grandchild, said that, well, it's Christmas, and he had to go and be with grandmother, whatever they
Mm-hmm.
called it, to decorate the Christmas tree because they never did, as long as they were married, spend Christmas away from each other. And so she
Oh,
said, and what she was saying is that put it in perspective. And
effective for
that
them.
came
Yeah.
out of a child's mouth. And he
Mm-hmm.
had to go. So why did he have to die at Christmas, around Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
And said, look, the child said, well, he had to go and be with Grammy, or Gammy, or whatever they call it, to decorate the Christmas tree.
Mm.
Children.
Out of the mouth of babes.
And that's exactly what she said. So we can do that, and especially when they've been married quite a while, because mom and daddy have been married, I think, 42 years
43.
to each 43 years to each other. Okay. And that's a long time. That's a long time. And like I said, they were like brother and sister to me. And they had a bond that nobody could break. Nobody. And the
Yep.
thing they did, they agreed on our disciplining us. If
Yep.
daddy said something, forget
Yep.
about going to mama. If we go
Oh
and
my
ask
goodness.
mama something, mama, go ask your daddy. We go
Yep.
ask daddy, what did your mama say? Well,
Yep.
mama said this.
Oh.
Okay. Well, okay, whatever your mama says.
Oh, I
Okay.
got tired of going back and forth from the kitchen to the shop, from the kitchen to the shop. Go ask your mama. Well, mama
That
said,
bond could
go
not
ask your
be.
dad. Well, just give up. I don't want to go no more.
But I thank God for mom and dad. I thank God. Elder Davis and I had a bond too. We were married 14 years and 10 months exactly. We were married March 15th, 1992, and he left on January 15th, 2007.
Wow.
So, hey, when we had our we were married 5 years to each other. We celebrated, that was our 25th anniversary. I celebrated like it was our silver
Yeah.
anniversary. You might have come. Did you come down there?
Yes.
We celebrate, I said, because
Yep.
this is a, you can celebrate however you want
You
to.
sure
I know
can.
they have these set, the golden,
The
the
wood, the paper, the silver, the
yes,
yeah.
all of that. But you, let me tell you something. You can celebrate however you want to.
Huh.
If you don't want to call it golden or silver, you can call it purple.
Yeah,
However
thank
many
you.
years you've been married,
It's our
because
orange.
enjoy.
This our orange.
And like Merethah was saying, hey, take time and enjoy now. Enjoy now, because we don't know whether we'll be married to somebody. Elder Davis and I were not married to each other 25 years, but we celebrated our fifth anniversary like it was 25 years.
Yep.
God knows, if you listen to him, he'll tell you what to do.
Yes, it
And so
will.
I thank God we had a happy marriage. I really
Yep.
appreciate it. I really do. And there were so many people that had so many years together. And you just grow on each other. You really do grow
Yeah.
on each
Yeah.
other. And it just seems like your brother and sister.
I look at the marriages throughout our family, and I'm like, I've always wanted that. I've always wanted that kind of relationship. Hadn't been blessed with it yet, but who's to say I'm not going to be? Because I still,
Right.
if the Lord's will, I still have time left. You know, and it just, I look at all that and I'm going, wow, wow, wow. Why couldn't I? But it wasn't meant at that time. So who knows? Who knows what God has in store for me? He knows.
He
And I'm just going
knows.
to be patient and wait on it.
And so what you have to do is just make sure your life is in line with his
Yep.
plans.
Yep.
And I stress to people, it- we say, Lord, this is what I want, but nevertheless, whatever your will is, let it be
Uh-huh.
done. That's
Whatever
what
you
Jesus
want, whatever
said
he
in the
do,
garden when he was praying. Nonetheless, but not my will, but thine be
thy
done.
will be done.
Pray according to God's will.
Mhm. Oh, I
God will
always.
bless you. No, no, I'm just saying in
Yeah, I know
general.
what you're saying.
You know.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, uh-huh. Pray, because you never know. I remember we went to there was a worship. We went to a worship. I don't like saying worship service, but anyway, we went to a
Uh-huh.
program, and there was a lady there. She was in her 80s, and she had a testimony that the Lord, well, she said the Lord told her to go and buy her wedding dress. Now she was in her 80s. She went and bought that wedding dress, and honey, that man came along and she got married
See?
in that wedding dress. So we don't know what, when, how, where,
Uh-huh.
but God always has a plan for our lives.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
always does. So let Him guide us and keep us. Yes, yes, yes. So you, Merethah, hey, hang in there, baby.
I know. Oh, I am. I'm patiently
I'm hanging in
waiting.
here. I'm hanging in here too.
Yep,
Someone else
patiently
to find,
waiting
if
for
he wants
whatever he
someone else to
has.
find me, we be married to each other, be companions, I'm all for it. But I'm not going to stop living
Oh
because
no.
he's not here. So that being said, last words for today, Marisa. We didn't
Pardon me.
make it.
Yep, I just thank everyone for joining us, and who is going to watch it later on. Thank you all for watching it, and we'll see you next time.
All right, God willing, we'll see you on.
Yep.
I'll see you with Saturday evening Sunday school session on Saturday at 7:39 p.m. and on Sunday at 7 a.m. for the Sunday morning manna from heaven. Thank you all for watching, everybody. Those that we see on here and those that we don't. We truly, truly appreciate you. And you know what? I want to play Michael McCowan again on our way out because I really like this song and it means so much. Be thankful for what you got. Just be thankful for what
Excuse me.
you got. That's Mama, and that was Daddy, Elder David, and me. That's Greater Gospel Temple out in the country.
An Escalade Cadillac,
Greater Gospel Temple.
gangsta
Daddy.
black wall, a TV Nintendo in the back. Out
Love you, baby sister.
you may not have
I can't help it. I like this
a
song.
car at all,
Everybody stay warm out there.
but remember,
In there too.
brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got. Just be thankful. Be thankful for what you got. For what you got. Ooh.
I gotta thank God for everything that I got. That's for sure. For what I've got, I wouldn't have now. So let me get on my knees. Thank you, Lord, I can breathe.
Thank you, Lord, for the trees and blessing me with my cheese.
So I can take care of my
Today,
family like
Daddy.
you want me to do. And do all the good deeds you want me to do.
You want me to
I don't
do
have to
right
slang
now.
you no more. My mama ain't stressing. All I do is write raps and rest. On Sundays I'm dressing. Well, I'm on to
The
break.
break for a sweeter day.
Like the floaters and just
Service.
float
Float away,
Got to
yeah.
find a way to make a better day. What we all better do is
know we
we
all
all better
better
pray.
pray.
But then them fighters go spreading rumor that I'm preaching. But all I'm trying to do is basically is trying to reach them. Y'all go ahead and peace. Bill for cheating on his wife.
You ought to spend the 50 million saving somebody like me. Just be thankful for what you got. Just be thankful. Be thankful.
Erica.
You gotta thank him for what you got right now, y'all.
Dedicated to my God on my
Sky and
CD.
Little
Thank
Mitchie.
you for everything you ever done for me. Thank you for the prayers that you answered for my mama. Thank you for the good time. Thank you for the trauma. Thank you for the times you fed me when I was broke. Thank you for watching over me when I had to sling my dope. Thank you for being the understanding God that you are. For what I your blessing God. Ain't nobody going for. I wanna thank you for when I was down, but not out. I knew it was a difference in the sand, wasn't no doubt. And now for your player haters who count me out. Look at me now, baby, like her. I wanna shout. I'm blessed with my home and blessed with plenty ends to spend. Big ol' Escalade truck, coupe, V12 Benz. Call me up, homie.
There's
I got the
Ashley.
ends to
She had a
spend.
baby
God bless me
this
to be
morning.
the only real asshole. I'm thankful. What?
Yes, sir.
Be
TJ and Jennifer.
thankful now for what you got now. What you got?
Marie.
She's on clean with the gangsta lean.
Tatum.
You gotta be thankful. Thank you. Look at what you got. Look at what you got. You got shoes on your feet right now.
All right, there's Leslie Kim.
You got shoes on your feet right now. Yes, you have.
Nikki.
You got clothes on your back. Yes, you do. Oh, yeah.
Got me and my people.
God let you breathe this air, and you ought to thank Him.
There's
Thank
Brian
Him,
and
thank Him.
Eleanor and Bridie.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Nicholas.
Take our time and think about it.
Nicholas and Gail.
He gave you some food to eat. He gave you shelter. He shelter in a stormy rain. Yes, He
Nicholas.
did. Yeah.
My children, as mama did, daddy again.
For what you got, y'all. Don't worry about it. Just be
Everybody.
thankful for what you got.
We love you so much. Thank you for being with us.
I love you too.
Oh God, I'm calling on you. Oh God, I'm enlisting the saints to pray. Can you hear me? Can you feel me?